So it's Saturday, 12th of September, and I'm finally heading into the mountains. After almost a month I've been here, yay me! Yeah, I can't wait. So I'm actually taking a train because there are no cableways here. In this area you can get straight on the mountain top by the train. One of these trains departs from Vevey, the city where I live, so it was a pretty logical choice to choose this one for my first mountain trip. So this is it. This is my train, and my first trip to the mountains is gonna be La Pléiade, which I chose because it's actually the mountain I see from my window. So yeah, let's do it. Despite my enthusiasm about the journey, my mind was a bit distracted because there had been some news concerning the COVID-19 situation in the Czech Republic. And tonight, Switzerland added the Czech Republic on the list of risk countries, so apparently no one is going to visit me from home, and I'm not going anywhere. For some time at least. Yeah, but I have still 5 months to go, so no problem, but I was hoping that someone is going to, bring me winter clothes. Yeah, apparently not. But let's try to forget about it for a moment and focus on the journey ahead of us. The ticket from Vevey to La Pléiade costs 1860 francs one way if you don't have any discounts. The whole journey takes about 40 minutes despite it being only 11 kilometers long. The train ascends slowly to the hills above Vevey, and once it reaches Blonay, the journey becomes steeper and steeper and the view gets better and better. And you can enjoy all this thanks to the giant windows. It never ceases to amaze me that this train line was actually built in 1911. 1911. It has been modernized and electrified since, but that's not important. Our ancestors were truly something, weren't they? For the last part of the journey, the train turns away from the lake and heads into the mountains on the other side. So I'm here at La Pléiade, and it's actually pretty cold in here. But seriously, what was I expecting? The train station is at 1,348 meters altitude. Most of the train's passengers headed to the restaurant on the top of the mountain, which I'd heard has an amazing view over the lake. But because I'm a penniless au pair, I headed exploring instead. Alright, I admit it. I don't know what to do first, if I should take videos or pictures. My teacher of photography told me that I will have to choose one day if I will be a cameraman or a photographer. That was 10 years ago and I still haven't chosen, so yeah, I've got a mobile and taking videos, and I've got this big camera and taking photos, and I don't know what to do first. Alright, let's get us to the top. When I reached the top of the mountain, which is only a few meters above the train station, I was quite surprised to find out that there isn't much of a view on the lakeside. Because the place is practically a meadow surrounded by tall trees, all you can see through the trees are peaks of the mountains on the other side of the lake. But this meadow has something else to offer. There is a small astropark called Astro Pléiade with many educational models that take visitors on a journey through the galaxy. As I found out later on the internet, there are also free guided tours going on every weekend during July and August. So I was a few weeks late for that, but never mind. Instead, I sat down on a bench and took my time to take the place in. There's nobody here except me, so it makes me thinking about a lot of things, and it's calm and beautiful. Alright, I admit it officially. the fact that there are no people around is a little bit creepy. We are used to having people around all the time, right? And this place is so peaceful and so empty that I'm actually pretty much nervous of this. I know I shouldn't be going to mountains alone, but yeah, my friend from Poland is actually in Poland right now, so and I'm not very easy to befriend, so yeah. I probably hadn't mentioned it before, but this whole au pair trip is kind of a therapy for me. My life in Czechia somehow fell into pieces and I decided to try again, to have a fresh new start. And that means rediscovering myself by being by myself. I'm completely alone, only with the cowbells. Yeah, the drummer from my band would be very happy to hear this. But on the other hand, the fact that there were no people around meant that I could do stupid things, like singing or trying to capture myself in a jump. Okay, this is weird, but no one sees me, so... After almost an hour of fooling around, I finally decided to move and headed down the hill next to the train tracks. There seemed to be quite a few hiking trails on the top, but my goal for the day was only to look around and walk back to Blonay. They say the way down is always easier and faster. We'll see. It's actually very steep. I wanted to say steep, but my vocabulary hadn't contained that word at the time. What a loser. I followed the trail towards the lakeside of the hill and I spotted a few tourists climbing up some natural stairs. I knew it probably led back to the top, but I couldn't help myself and try. After a few minutes of climbing up, I realized I'm actually beside the meadow that I can see from my window. At first, I thought it was the meadow on the top, but I realized I was wrong. Because the top meadow is surrounded by tall trees, so I couldn't possibly see it from the town. After exploring this pathway, I turned and headed back down. But I should have stepped out to that meadow because the best lake view is actually from there. But I didn't know at the time. On my way to Blonay, I was hidden in the forest most of the time and only a few times I caught a glimpse of Lake Geneva. This is so beautiful. This is actually probably the best thing about Switzerland, the view, the landscape. Yeah, I just can't get enough of this. But honestly, this trail was more interesting for the views on its alpine side. Its lakeside was a bit disappointing, but it turned out later that I had simply chosen the least interesting trail out there. But at least I've made some new fluffy friends. After an hour, I arrived back to Blonay. It was not the most exciting hike ever, but it was a nice starter and a reminder of what alpine hiking looks like. I really wonder what this place looks like in spring, because Les Pléiades are legendary for its meadows full of white daffodils. But that's something I probably won't get to see as my journey is going to end in February 2021. But I made a few discoveries on this journey. First, there is actually a castle in Blonay which I hadn't noticed before. Second, there are tortoises in a garden of one of the houses in Blonay. And the third, there are historical steam trains departing from Blonay train station and heading to Historical Train Museum Blonay-Chambly. So that's a few more destinations for me to visit in the following months. I'm so excited!